All right,
Lexington.
Yeah. All right, let's get going. What do you think kicks off?
What can you tell us about availability this week?
Availability this week, Scott Arfield, we got him off the pitch in time, but he won't make this weekend, but we're hopeful that he'll be fit for next weekend. So it's not as bad as it could have been if we'd have kept him on the pitch. Enzo Capetti has trained with us today, so he's available for selection, which is really good news as well. Liel Abada is due to land in the next hour, so I'm expecting him to train tomorrow, and hopefully all the paperwork is done that he's with his visa, and he can be on the team sheet for us as well on Saturday. So Brandt Bronico is also back. So yeah, the medical department has been handing them back, which is very nice.
I'll ask you more about this, but just from Liel's standpoint, I know until you see him, you really don't understand, you don't know, but what's your expectation from him fitness-wise in terms of what he's at?
He's just been involved in the internationals. He played 25 minutes for Israel, so I would expect his fitness levels to be up there. I spoke to the people I know at Celtic as well, and they had no qualms about his fitness levels as well. So yeah, I don't expect him to have lost too much fitness.
In terms of getting these players back, I know you like having difficult decisions, but how much more difficult does that make decisions for you as you retain and acquire players of quality?
I think it's what you want as a coach, and my job is to, with my own eyes, judge what I feel to be our best 11, and stand by that, and let the players know why that is, and give the others who aren't playing the opportunity to work hard to get into the team. So I like to have them choices, and I think we've been a little bit pushed just recently to come off the bench and make an impact, and I think this will give us the opportunity to go and do that as well.
You and Cincinnati are two of the three teams in MLS who have conceded just once in the second half of this season. Is there a science behind that with what you do at halftime? Is it something where your mid-block form makes it harder to break down later in games? What do you attribute that to?
I honestly don't know, to be honest. I mean, I think we're a good fit team. I think we work extremely hard for each other, and we're very tough to break down. So I don't think we give many big chances away in general. So, second half, long may that continue, because as we know, most goals are scored in the last 10 minutes of games when teams get tired. So, hopefully we can continue that trend.
What did JP show to you, not just in his time at the left back, but since the game that obviously, you probably will slot Europe back in there, but what did it show to you in terms of his aptitude with the position? No,
he showed me that he can go and compete with, a Finnish international player, to get into the team. I thought he played extremely well last week. I thought he defended the diagonals really well. His use of the ball was good. And there's always going to be question marks when it's a young player going in for his first game, but I thought he handled that really well.
Steve?
With Abada coming in and such, have you been talking to him, while he's been away, about the expectations, sharing film, anything like that, about that, so mentally he knows what he's coming into?
Yeah, I've been speaking to him. He's been watching our games as well. He's good because he asks questions about what we're looking to do and what we're looking to try. Our game plan gets sent out to him, so he can follow that as well. So he's pretty much linked in with what we're doing.
And looking to the other side, what you're expecting from Cincinnati, and how you defend a player like Acosta.
Yeah, he looks like the outstanding offensive player for them. Looks like he can create. Looks like he can score. Bottle of pop at times. You're not sure what's going to happen next with him. But again, I don't think at the moment we have to just concentrate on him. I think they've got other dangers as well, and if you just concentrate on one player, I think you can get undone. But we have to be mindful of the sort of player he is.
Is there a different way to defend someone with his, water bug type quickness and the ability to get around people with the ball at his feet?
Yeah, I mean, what you don't do is you don't give him the opportunity by planting a foot and give him an opportunity to go around you. You've got to make him do something special to beat you. We've been working with the players to do that, but that's likewise with a lot of their players as well.
Yeah, he did that last year, with things along this line. And with, when it comes to penalty kicks, which have not been a bright spot, you know, as someone who's, you know, real good during training and stuff, it's different when you're in a big stadium and in the moment and the pressure. How do you try to translate that? There are teams who have in training have, you know, blared the speakers. They tried to create, you know, the chaos that comes around when you're actually in a game situation.
We don't actually know until they actually go and take a penalty in a match situation, because you can't recreate it. You can't recreate the stress levels that come on it, or the pressure. You know, so all they can do is practice their technique. You know, I always say, you know, to the penalty taker, is it a guarantee that you're going to score? No. Is it a guarantee that you're going to miss? No. And that's how penalties should be taken. You know, you're in control of what you do. Go and make sure you give it the best technique you can to score a goal.
And that really hasn't been the situation. So, I mean, at least putting it on frame with that. I mean,
Yeah.
keepers are much better now.
Yeah, and I've said before, some of the top players have missed targets, and you know, some of the most technical, gifted players who we've seen
In World Cup finals.
in World Cup finals. You know, so it happens, and you know that can be sometimes pressure for some of the best technicians. And you know, I was disappointed for Yuri, because he is one of our best technicians, really good technical player, but unfortunately, it just wasn't his day for that.
Thank you.
So given that Kerwin Vargas has taken one in Yuri for this weekend, hypothetically, if there was a penalty, who would be the one?
I'm coming on to take it.
Huh?
I'm coming on to take it. I used to take a mean penalty. No,
We believe that.
yeah, no, we'll have it sorted for Saturday. So yeah, the person who will be on penalties will know.
Okay, and then how important is it to keep the momentum at home? You've got 2 wins now at home. You know, heading against what Steve said, one of the best teams in the league last year. Again, they started off strong. They've got a guy like Future.
Yeah, it's really important to try and keep the momentum. We've got to keep doing the right things. We know we're coming up against the Supporter Shield winners, unbeaten so far this season in the MLS. Obviously, watched them against Monterrey as well in the Champions League. So, you know, we're trying to pick holes in the way they play, and we'll try and negate their strengths. But you know, it's going to be a tough game for us. But again, as I said after the game last week, at home with our supporters, you know, we feel there's a real strong bond, and that gives you that extra man as well. Cheers.
Else in the room? Steve, okay.
Just coming back to the play of Patrick and what he's done, because and the decision you're going to have to make, you know, when you have Capetti back at both ends, is there any consideration of playing them together, you know, so they can play off of each other? Because Patrick seems really good at, you know, mixing up defenders with, you know, his reach and ability to get, and also his determination to stay on the play and create things.
Yeah, I mean, you could play them together, and we have done so, you know, during the pre-season campaign. But it all depends on how the rest of the players are doing, how the team is doing. We've got a system that I feel is working at the moment. It's making us strong. We're creating chances with it as well. We're not giving away too many chances. So, you know, the players have to fit into that at the moment. I think it's one that suits us better. In some games, we might have to go 3 midfield and then flatten it off a little bit. But there's certainly, I certainly wouldn't rule out playing them together.
And do you feel that Patrick is still growing into the game and that we're going to see much more from him?
Yeah, no, there's a lot more to come. You know, I think he's done okay in the last 2 games. Can he do better? Yes. But can we do better? Yes.
Danny, and then I got Will as well.
Following up on Patrick real quick, just what have you seen from him in terms of taking it all in? He's got a lot of attention on him as a young player, probably for the first time in his career. How's he handling all this extra attention that comes with getting his account open?
He's handled it really well. He's quite a level-headed lad. You know, I didn't want him to get too high or too low after the Nashville game, and then too high after this game, and he hasn't. So I haven't had to say too much to him. You know, I thought on another day, you know, that Nashville game could have been a really match-winning performance from him, but things went against him. But it was great to see him get the goal. I felt he needed that goal as well. as I keep saying, he's a handful to play against.
I want to ask you about another young player, just while I've got you here, just your thoughts on Jalen Lindsey, who is a fan favorite, who hasn't really cracked the squad this year, got to play with Legacy. What's he showing you that we haven't seen yet?
His professionalism, attitude, application is top notch. Love seeing him every day on the training ground. His standards are really set high. Unfortunately for him, Nathan, I feel, has done really well so far. I like having the balance of a left footer as a left back. So it's been tough for him to get some minutes, but we will get him minutes, and I've spoken to him, at length to tell him how much I think he will play a big part in what we do this season. Cheers, thank you.
With Scotty out, does that insert Breck back in, or does Nico compete in that, or how does that?
I think they can both compete for it, as can Tavares playing in there as a 10. I think all three of them have got the attributes to play that position. I think what will make my mind up is what I feel we can go best with on the sides.
What did Nico do with his opportunity, you think?
I thought he brought a lot of energy to the team when he came on. He makes really good runs, as you saw, where there was some excellent defending that was giving us a free kick for some reason. But I thought he actually injected some life into the game for us, which we needed at that time.
Brandt, when he was last featuring for the team, was very much a stalwart in the starting lineup. Now he comes into a scenario where you've got Jabril, who you've used in the double pivot. You've had, obviously, Junior Urso. That's a much more crowded room than it was before. How do you go about kind of evaluating the margins between the two? What needs to stand out for you to make sure you have the decision with who's next to Westwood in the contest?
I think the challenge has been set for all of them, really. If you don't keep up to your standards, then there's somebody who's ready to come in. Brandt got injured in Coachella. He's back ready now. He had a 4 weeks training, and he looks, firing and ready to go. So I think there's some real good competition, as I say, for places. And in some games, as I say, I might go with a 6 and 2/8 and see how that goes. We changed that way to Nashville in the second half, and I thought we looked stronger against Nashville doing that. But we'll have to see, from game to game.
You mentioned that after Abada, there was probably still 1 or 2 more signings this squad needed. Are you getting closer to signing a new player?
We're still working on some. We're still speaking to some. I've been watching some film of 2 or 3 players that we really like, and passing my thoughts on to the recruitment department. And we're still trying to move.
Luke, I think.
Hey, Dean.
Hey.
So with Cincinnati, we have the Queen City Derby, and I believe they have a trophy made. Do you have a spot set aside here at HQ for that Queen City Derby trophy?
No, I don't really, but I'll certainly make one.
All right, great. Any thoughts on a city named after Cincinnatus calling themselves the Queen City versus one named after Queen Charlotte?
This is the one, isn't it? No, let's be honest. This is the Queen City. We'll allow King Charles here as well if he wants to come.
Excellent. And have you ever tried their version of chili over the spaghetti?
No, I certainly haven't. No, spaghetti all day long.
Wise move.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's go to the Zoom now, guys. I see Carol, and then we'll go to Nick after that.
Hey Dean, how's it going?
I'm good, thanks, Carol. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. I guess I just want to follow up on Brandt. He seems like he's the kind of player who maybe doesn't have the skills that, most tactical player in the world, but just has this incredible motor. Has he managed to make that impression on you, even though he's been injured?
I can run all day. We forget Duracell. We've got a Brandt Bronico. And he's. I think technically he's okay as well. People have said to me before, he's just a runner. He's more than that. He can score goals as well as we've seen last season. He can arrive in the penalty box. So I'm really pleased that we've got him back, because I felt, we've certainly missed him.
Do you feel like, after a handful of games, you finally got some bullets now? Your bench hasn't been your strength really yet, but now it might be more of one.
Yeah, it's certainly starting to get loaded now, which is important, because we've been playing some teams who have been able to make more of a difference from the bench. And you know, we always believed that we would have that strength, but unfortunately, we've had a few injuries, and them injuries are coming back now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Nick?
Hey, Coach, how you doing today?
I'm good, thanks, Nick. You?
Doing well, thanks. I wanted to ask you, you were talking, a lot of questions were about the starting 11. Can you share a little bit about your internal process of how you go about doing that? Do you have like a sheet you write down and you have certain names on there, and you're kind of contemplating them, and then when do you make that decision?
I think straight after the game, you know, after the Saturday when we've just played last week against Columbus, straight away in my head I'll have, you know, an idea of what the game is going to be, because we'll have already talked about, you know, what Cincinnati are going to bring the following week, what system they're going to play. So I'll have an idea that's starting to form in my head. But then as the week goes by, obviously speak to the medical side, see if anybody's, you know, flagged up in after the game or in training. And then I don't name my team until tomorrow. So, you know, the players will have some idea, you know, in terms of what we do on a Wednesday, Thursday, playing a couple of people together so we can build up relationships. But, you know, I won't name the team until tomorrow morning.
Nice. And then follow up on this. You've been in the MLS now just a little bit. What have you learned about the MLS, about being a gaffer in the MLS?
You know, it's not too different to being, you know, a boss out in the UK. Still doing the same job, dealing with the same players. You know, being on the road's different, obviously, with the journeys that you're making and the sometimes time difference. But you know, I've liked working with the players. I think they're really coachable, and I think that's important. And you know, hopefully we can keep improving.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Nick. Final call. Steve, got a last one.
Yeah, just following up on, like, I was talking with Ashley about this at the Legacy game, that he only has 3 yellow cards. Feels like more because he gets into discussions with the officials. Are you ever concerned about, you know, a person in his leadership position perhaps getting those yellow cards early?
No, I mean, I think the one on Saturday was because he raised his arm. Yeah, just after
That was silly.
Just after Cucho had raised his arm to handball it, that wasn't given. So it was a poor yellow card. I mean, listen, I got a warning last week, and rightly so, because I was getting frustrated on the side as well. You know, but it is a game that can frustrate you at times. But you know, the one thing I keep telling the players is make sure they've got emotional control. And you know, I think there's a system here. I'm right that you can actually lose a card, can't you?
Yeah,
Well,
once
if
it
you
goes
go,
Some 5 games.
yeah, West is clever enough to go and do that as well.
Yeah, thanks. And discovery rights, there's been a lot of discussion about Olivier Giroud and LAFC coming up. I was just wondering, and this may be more of a Zoran question as far as like the discovery rights. Do we have them on De Bruyne or anybody that we should go after? Who would be on your wish list of
I might
discovery?
go and have a look on the Discovery Channel and see if I find anyone.
Yeah, let me know.
I'll let you know, Steve.
I think great as well.
Fill out your wish list.
Yeah,
All right, we're up there. Thanks, guys.
brilliant. Thanks,
everyone
you.
on the Zoom.